This place is like, it never ends.
No, there's always another bit to find, and this is off limits to staff, really. You know, this is a behind-the-scenes access area. Like we don't use this as a general day-to-day area, so there's some pretty cool stuff in here.
Is this the secret door that I've heard so much about?
It may well be.
What? Not so secret anymore.
No, not anymore. It's cool, isn't it?
Wow. Where do we, I guess, I was going to say, where do we start? I guess we start here. All right, so educate me.
You know, right from the start, you can see the car's really, really long, hence its name, the Longtail. So that was all about getting more aerodynamic performance. They pumped out the bodywork, so wider track, maximised the amount of tyre they could get on the road within the regulations, you know, more mechanical grip.
Yeah.
They took 100 kilos out of the weight of the car as well, which is, you know, absolutely imperative for yeah, imperative for any race car.
That's crazy. Like, I know for us, it's, if we can save 100 grams, we're killing it in F1. So to get 100 kilos out is, well, I mean, that's insane.
You ever tried to get in one of these?
Is it open? Oh, it's this button, isn't it?
Yeah, push the button. Yeah, yeah. I think you take the wheel off if you want.
That'll probably help. All right, doesn't look elegant.
Imagine doing that in a pit stop.
Oh yeah, getting in here with a helmet as well.
Yeah, yeah. So.
Oh my gosh. So still got a foot clutch. So was that, I guess, just to take off?
I think it's just for pull away, and then you can just do,
and then,
you know, sequential changes. Yeah.
Oh, see, I still love a stick, as the Americans would say. I just think it's so cool. A H pattern maybe is a bit complicated for a kid like me, but sequential stick is like, oh, it's cool.
Yeah, something theatrical about it, isn't there?
Yeah, it's so long and just also quite flat.
Yeah.
Like when you think about the front of the car with the louvers and everything, the back is kind of, it's pretty simple.
I guess the main thing is to, you know, keep this air attached to the car as, you know, as well as possible, so that you're really energizing the rear wing and getting that air, you know, traveling as fast as it can underneath to create that downward pressure, that downforce. So they've only put features in where they need it. Again, that sort of form follows function. So really the main things about this car were the chassis dynamics, the bodywork, lengthening it, increasing the downforce, changing the powertrain and taking that weight out. And so those pillars really are kind of like where we've gone with the LT sub-brand. So that kind of took us on nicely to this car.
I recognize this very well because I own one. It was the first sports car I ever purchased, a blue 675 LT.
That's quite a sports car to start with.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Well, I was quite like, you know, I was quite sensible.
Okay.
But
okay.
Mate, I love it. I love it.
You know, the origins of this car are in the Longtail, and they're really focused on kind of adding that driver engagement, you know, like the brakes, the steering, all of those touch points, all those things that you feel as a driver when you're you know, taking one of these on a spirited drive.
Yeah.
You know, it just makes you feel great. And even at low speed, you know, that sort of texture comes through to you.
Well, it's the first thing I noticed when I drove it. It feels like a go-kart. It's just so nimble at the front. It's so responsive. And yeah, you feel everything, and it gives you, well, that's what it gives you, like amazing feel. And that's what I loved. I was just like, you can kind of throw it around and like play with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, the response is really cool. So in the most like complimentary way, I described it as like a go-kart.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's just that, it's that confidence that it gives you when you're driving it. Just makes it so rewarding to just play with, yeah.
And they sound sick. Oh.
So we come to, that was 2016, come to 2019 now.
Yeah.
This was our next LT, so 600 LT, based on the 570S, which was our sports series. Have you ever driven one of these?
So, my buddy has one. I didn't drive it for long, but I liked it.
This, again, is just taking all of that DNA back from the F1. And you can see all the sort of aerodynamic tweaks, so, you know, functional fender louvers to reduce that pressure in the wheel arch. This is really the party piece for me on this car, is the top exit exhaust. Best thing about this is when you've got it absolutely nailed and it's hot, you get flames up here.
Yeah, that's maybe that's still the kid in me, but any flames that come out of an exhaust is like, you're winning.
Yeah.
You're doing all right.
Gave us a massive engineering challenge though, because you can see like the center section of this is all ceramic coated. You know, we still wanted the visual carbon fiber on the outskirts, but we just couldn't take the temperature. The resins, it was all about that heat management. And that's still that's a really functional area of the wing as well, because as you get towards the edges of the wings, unless they've got end plates, you know, the efficiency drops off from a downforce perspective. So it's really important we had that.
That's badass. It's like, wait, why isn't it all carbon? Well, it's not because these pump out flames. Oh, okay, then that all of a sudden makes this a lot cooler. I recognize what's next. I was fortunate to have one for a few weeks when I was in California. And in the most positive way possible, it scared the shit out of me. It is so fast.
Yeah.
Like, it's so fast. So then what is the actual specifics of the engine in this? What are the numbers?
Okay, so 4-litre V8, twin turbo, twin scroll turbos for faster spool up. It's got 765 PS and 800 newton meters of torque. So it'll get you, as you said, how fast it was. It will get you from 0 to 124 miles an hour, or 200 kilometers an hour, if you're speaking that money, in 7.2 seconds.
0 to 200
Yeah.
in 7.2
7.2.
seconds.
Yeah. Pretty quick. And she'll sail on to 205 miles an hour, top speed. To make something as special and rewarding to drive as this, there's a lot of internal sort of battles that go on.
Yeah.
And
same as F1, don't worry.
yeah, very, very similar. And we came out with this design. The main reason being that with four exits, we can get more air out and get some more volume. But the precise diameter of these tailpipes and the proximity to each other, and the way that they kind of amplify the sound waves, that was really, really key. So again, it's not just space like that and that size for aesthetics. It's actually there because it generates the sound that we want. You can reward yourself with some good pops and bangs.
Oh, man.
They don't happen all the time. You've got to earn them to get that. Yeah,
And
get
you feel
that
it.
crack. Yeah.
I love it. Like you feel it through, even through the wheel, you feel it. You feel it through your spine. It adds to the whole experience. But yeah, it's such a good point what you say, because like I look at the quad exhaust, I'm like, man, that looks cool. But there's so much involved, and you say there's so many battles where it's like, not everything is the way you want it to be, because there's so many other things. Like, okay, that might look the coolest, but engineering, aerodynamics, whatever, like that doesn't work. Or so to make a car, let's say, efficient and still look the way it does, to execute both to such a high standard, like that's where it's super impressive.
Not only did we, do all the underskin stuff, there's a lot done on the outside. We extended this nose down and made it more pronounced than on a 720. Enlarged this splitter. Obviously, we're trying to get more cooling into the car because it's got more power and performance. These eye sockets, we call them, have this real shark-like quality to them. We pulled down the nose.
Did you say shark-like?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, should I say it? But yeah, it reminds me of a shark.
There was lots of sketches and looking at nature about, efficient forms. So we've got the teardrop cabin, the gills. And then the party piece is this double skin door. So you've got the tendon on the 600 LT. Well, this was, how do we cool the car with no big visible side intakes on it? So it's got a really clean body side, a lot of sculpture and shape in that. There's a lot of detail, and it's kind of a visual story of what the air is doing, even when it's stationary. You can kind of almost picture what it does. So this one has the more comfortable seats, slightly easier to get into than the 600 LT, because we've pushed this space here wider.
Okay.
So the header on the windscreen is further forward.
That there.
Yeah.
Carbon tub.
But it's there for a reason again. Structural rigidity, we don't have to add any weight. So that means that the Spider is only 49 kilos heavier than the coupe, despite the fact that we put a whole roof mechanism in. The engineers pushed really, really hard to achieve that.
I love, I think of carbon tub, I obviously think of race cars, and I just think it's such a cool feature as well to have that kind of racing, call it DNA or blood in it.
Yeah, I mean, we pioneered it. 1981, we were the first manufacturer to go into Formula One with a carbon tub. So it's in our DNA through and through. You know, the F1 road car, that was one of the first road cars with a carbon chassis. And every car that we've made as McLaren Automotive has had this sort of underpinning.
Beautiful.
So, quite a collection. The ultimate question, which one would you take home? Maybe other than the one you've already got.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not my nature, but I'm gonna be greedy. I'm gonna take them all. Sue me, Ian. Sue me.